Hello everyone, and welcome back to another lesson on Microsoft Excel. In this lesson, we're going to go over ribbons, tabs, and menus in more details, and I went over them shortly in our previous lessons, but here I'm going to make you understand what actually these ribbons, tabs, and what are actually menus. Okay, I didn't go over menus, so we're going to cover menus as well in this lesson. Alright, so let's go to Microsoft Excel and take a look at these ribbons, tabs, and menus in much more detail. Alright, so I'm back on Excel. Here we have this interface, and I already went over the interface previously. Okay, so now we're just gonna go right into the ribbons. Okay, now I previously said that there are compartments right over here, right? Now if you notice that in my clipboard I have this cut, copy, paste options, and then in fonts I have these bold, italic, and font family. Now in fonts you can see that everything, every function, every commands that are present in my font group, it is related to typography, right? And it's related to text and other numbers as well. So basically these groups are actually related to each other in their respective format. Okay, so if I go to alignment, you can see there are only alignments over here like merge center and then wrap text, and then we have center alignment, right alignment, and then left alignment as well. Alright, so these are all the alignments that you will find in one place, so it makes your job much more easier to find out. Now basically if you need to find any commands that you're looking for and you can't find it in any of these tabs or ribbons, you're having trouble finding it, okay, so you can just search it from here. Let's say for merge and center, you can see that it already comes up right over here, merge and center, the same function that is right over here, right? So that is basically how you can search for them. Now here in the numbers you can see you'll find symbols, and then you can find all these formats, and also you'll find this number format, how you want to use it, like if you want to use it in general or number in a numeric one, or currency or accounting, or any type of date or time or percentage. Okay, so there are all of these functions related to numbers in one place, right? And if you take a notice in your other compartments or other groups, there are these arrow signs at the far right bottom, right? You won't find this in every single groups, but in clipboard, font, alignments, you can see there are these compartments or these signals right over here. Now what happens if I go ahead and click on it, right, like this? You can see there's a clipboard that appears. Now basically this clipboard actually records every single text or any number that you cut it or copied, they're recorded right over here. Now if you want to take a look at that, you can find it right over here. Let's say if I cut this, and now if I just type in, let's say just random text, let's say name, okay, and let me just select this fully, and now I'm just gonna simply cut it like this. And now if I go back to clipboard, you can see that this one is recorded. Okay, this name word has been recorded in our clipboard. Okay, so basically that is the function of your clipboard. Now another command that is very important to know about, now basically this is not a command, it's actually an advice, or if I go ahead and right click on copy, you can see it says add to quick access toolbar, or customize the ribbon, or collapse the ribbon. Now if I go to paste, it's the same thing happens right over here. Now the thing is, this is actually a contextual menu. Now why is this called a contextual menu? Contextual menus basically are menus that represent the function or command that you have selected currently. So I've currently selected paste, and this contextual menu is representing this command right over here. Alright, now if you notice, if I go over to bold, same thing happens, or here same things happens here as well. Now if you notice, if I go to any other cell right over here, and if I right click on this cell, you can see that the contextual menu is much more longer and has much more functions than the ones here, the commands. That's because this is an element that you need to edit, and this has a lot of functions as well. All right, so basically this one here, it says copy, paste, and paste options, insert, delete, clear contents, and all of these. Okay, so this is a contextual menu. So basically this contextual menu is representing this single cell right over here. Now if I, let's say, added some text right over here, let's say let's give this Christ. Okay, and now if I right click, you can see the contextual menu is much more shorter than the whole tab or whole cell, right? Now basically if I cut this, only the text will go away, right? The text will be recorded, and the contextual menu is comprising of only of the text. Now if I go ahead and select the cell, and now if I right click, you can see the contextual menu is much more bigger. That's because this contextual menu is now representing the whole cell, not only the text. All right, now another thing is, you can see this contextual menu, it comprises of another mini toolbar as well. Now that's basically because if you use this toolbar right over here, the bigger one, the default one, it's going to be comprised of all of these cells right over here, right? And if I only choose to edit this cell, then I have to only select the tools that are available in this mini toolbar right over here. That's because this toolbar is representing this whole cell, okay, not the whole worksheet. And these toolbars right over here, the tools right over here, are representing the whole worksheet. So that's the difference between this mini toolbar and the main toolbar as well, and which is also related to your contextual menus as well. Okay. Now, in a lot of cases, a lot of people find this really handy, including me, and a lot of people, they really find this really annoying. Okay, so how do you actually turn off this mini toolbar right over here? You can actually do that by going to the options. Like I said this earlier as well, that the options work as a whole setting for your Microsoft Excel. So if you go to your options, you can actually go ahead and turn off your contextual menus. Now let me show you how you can do that. Just go to File, and here you'll find your options right over here. If you just click on the options, this Excel options will open up just like that. All right, over here you will find it in the general options, like here the user interface options. You'll find the show mini toolbar on selection option right over here. Now from here, what you can do here, you can actually select it and it will be deselected. Now if I click on OK, and now if I right click right over here, so you can see that it's still showing this mini toolbar even though I turned it off. Okay, so basically a lot of Excels would do this. Now this could be a technical issue. Now if you find this really annoying, you can just go to the help from over here and you can report it or give some suggestions just like that. Okay, in most cases this actually works. If we go to options and just turn off the show mini toolbar on here and make sure to click on OK. So I'm just going to turn it back on because I need this, and I prefer keeping the mini toolbar because I want to edit it as I go on. All right. So now I've showed you earlier what happens if I click on this diagonal arrow right over here from the clipboard, right? It opens up the clipboard, the default clipboard for your Excel. Now notice if I just select this Christ text right over here, and if I click on cut, now it's recorded here in the clipboard as well. Okay, so that's a neat example. Now if I'm just gonna go ahead and just cut that out, and now let me show you what happens if I click on the font's diagonal arrow. Okay, once I click on it, you can see that this format cells, it actually opens up. Now you can see that there are some additional options right over here that you can actually use to your advantage. Like for instance, the font is right now is Calibri. Now you can give it Calibri Right or Agency FB or Algerian or Arial Black or any type of font family that you think is good for you. All right, and there you can see also you'll find this preview right over here. The preview box is right over here. Font style, you can also choose the font style from here. You can select the size from here as well. Basically, if you want to edit words individually, you can open up the cell right over here. Okay, notice you can see that there's this tab says font, so it's opened only the font. Okay, And now if I click on this, since I've clicked here, now let me click over here, and you can see that the alignment tab also has been activated. Now if I click on the diagonal arrow on the alignment, let's see what happens. Now you can see the same type of tab has been opened and the same type of window has been opened, but this time the tab right over here, it says alignment, and it's beside it says font, border, fill, protection, number. Now these are all different cells, all right, that you can go over. Let's say if I go to font, the same type of the same tab has been opened when I clicked on the font diagonal arrow, right? And also alignment goes like that as well. Okay, so basically these are extra functions that you can use with some advanced thinking. You can just go ahead and change it from over here, which is much more easier as well and very convenient as well. Okay, so from here I'm just going to go ahead and click on OK to make sure everything is okay. Okay, so another option for this lesson before ending the lesson is the view of your ribbon tab and the view of your worksheet. Now, if you want to change the view, let's say a lot of people want a clean view. They don't want the view of these ribbons right over here. They just want it whenever they want to bring in a function or bring in a command, then you want to bring it in, right? Now, there's a quick option to that. The quickest way is to use keyboard shortcuts. Now, to disappear your ribbon, you can use the keyboard shortcut Control plus F1. And if you're on an Apple or a Macintosh, then you can use Command plus F1 to make the whole ribbon collapse, all right? And another way you can do it is just simply going right over here in the far right here. You can see there's an arrow right over here and it says collapse the ribbon. And also you can see the keyword, it says Control plus F1. And in the screen tips, you can notice that it says need a bit more space, collapse the ribbon, so only the tab names show. So if I click on it, you can see all the ribbons have been collapsed and they have been hidden from the general view. And you can see that the whole worksheet is now much more maximized and it looks much more cleaner. Okay, now to get back the ribbons, you can see that once I've already dragged them out or dragged them in, you can see that there is no drop down bar to bring them back up. So what you can do here is if you just go ahead and click on home, you can see that the ribbons, they just hang like that, all right? So you can select your functions and then if you just click back on the home, it just collapses back right in. And now if you want to just keep it again, you can just go ahead and click on the home, and right here you'll find this pin button right over here. You can just click on it like it says pin the ribbon. Also this keyword is Control plus F1 and it says in the screen tips, it says like seeing the ribbon, keep it open while you look or work. Okay, so just click on the pin and it will just pin back into your worksheet, upside your worksheet, and you'll find all the options that you need. Now another way to collapse the ribbons are if you want to hide them, hide the tabs. I showed this in an earlier lesson, is to use this right over here, ribbon display options. Now, not every Excel software is going to have this by default, but you can actually bring this here by going to the Excel options and then clicking this right over here. If you don't have it, you can do that. And if you have it, then you can just go ahead and click on it. And also you can see there are three options right over here: auto hide ribbons, and then show tabs or show tabs and commands. Alright, so auto hide ribbons, if I click on that, you can see everything is gone right over here. It's clean, right? And you might be wondering how you're gonna get that back. Just simply click on these three dots right over here and everything will be back. But it's not gonna be back for good. It's gonna go down once you're done using it. Alright, so to bring it back, you just need to go ahead and select this over here again. And then you have to select show tabs just like that, okay? Now, if I click on show tabs, you can see that only the tabs are showing right now, not the ribbons. Now you can see if I click on home, the ribbons slide down. Alright, now if I click on home back, it just goes down again. It just goes up again, alright? Now to get all of those back, just go ahead and click on show tabs and commands, just like that, alright? Simply doing that, you'll find all the ribbons have been brought into place, okay? So those are some of the techniques that you can use with the ribbons, if you want to hide them, or if you just generally like the look. If you ask me, I actually like the interface just like this. I like having all my commands on ready to use. Alright, so with this, I'm going to end this lesson right over here, and I hope you understood, everyone. And if you have any problem, you can reach out to us. We are always here to help you guys. Alright, with this, I'm going to end this lesson, and I will see you in another lesson. Goodbye.